We are discussing chapter number 5, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. So we talked about the tropical deciduous forest, and this is between 200 to 70 centimeter of rain. So the forest where we have this region is getting rain from 70 centimeter to 200 centimeter. So most important thing is they shed their leaf about 6 to 8 months when there is a dry summer. Now we can always divide them because the regions are different. So we can divide it into two parts again. That is, this can be divided into 200 to 100 and then 100 to 70. So 200 to 100 we call them as a different name, and the other one we call it as a different name. So first we call them as deciduous forest or more moist deciduous. Why it is moist? Because the water there, the wind there will have a lot of moisture in them. So these are again the area, because from 200 to 100 it's quite a rain, that is the water content is quite good, and it is present mostly in the eastern part of the country. That is, this is the eastern part of the country. Then we have northern eastern part. These northern eastern states, if you see green ones, not green ones. Then we have because this dark green area is not that one, right? We have already seen that this dark green area is tropical evergreen forest, but we are talking about tropical deciduous forest, and this is basically because of the rain, and which is intermediary, not that much, not very scarce. So we have northern eastern state and the foothills of Himalayas, Jharkhand, West Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and on the eastern slopes of the Western Ghats. So this is Western Ghat, so this is west, this is east. So eastern means this part of the Western Ghat. And teak is the most dominant species of this forest, and there are trees which are commercially very important like bamboo, sal, shisham, sandalwood, khair, kusum, arjun and mulberry. Apart from this, the second part we can divide it into 100 to 70, and this is called as dry deciduous. So rainfall between 100 and 70, it is dry deciduous, and this present in the rainier parts of the Peninsula Plateau, because Peninsula Plateau there are certain parts which are quite rain getting, and the plains of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Here the teak, sal, peepal and neem grow. These are the trees, and most of the area have been already cleared for cultivation and for grazing. And common animals in this region we found, or we generally find, is lion, tiger, pig, deer, elephant, and there are huge varieties of birds also, lizards also, snakes and tortoises. So these are the two parts. Now coming to the tropical thorn and forest scrubs. So let me show you a picture first. So there are certain things which need to be observed. First of all, these are the trees, and these are the, you can say, cactus, shrub, etc. And they are quite a distance, means they are not quite dense, because the region is mostly balui, like sand is there. Water is less, so the leaves are very small, very small, or either you can say these leaves are thorns also. And the roots of these whatever is growing here, they are quite long, because these roots are always in search of water, so they move in all the direction. So these are the peculiarities of tropical thorn forest and scrubs. And again, let me show you the area where we are talking about. So these are the tropical thorn forest. This area, as we know that the water is scarce, or the monsoon doesn't fall here that much as it falls in this region. Then we have this area. Why this area? Because we have a Western Ghat, and when monsoon comes, most of the rain occurs here. So this is a Vrishti Chhaya Pradesh, or you can say a mountain is there, and this is the other side of the mountain. So this region gets less rain. So we will find here tropical thorn forest. So these are found in the region which are less than, 70 centimeter and less rainfall. The natural vegetation consists of what, as I just suggested, these are thorny trees, bushes, acacias, palms, euphorbias and cacti, that is a species of cactus. All these cactus comes under cacti. And as I said, these are quite scattered and they have long roots. The roots are quite long and the distance is also quite high. And the roots penetrating deep into the soil, they are quite deep. Why? Because they want water. The soil needs, the trees need moisture or water from the soil. And the stems are quite succulent to conserve water. And leaves are mostly thick, very thick and small. Thick and small. Because there is a scorching heat of sun and these trees can't afford to lose water because of evaporation. So these thick and small leaves are just because they want to minimize the evaporation. And common animals that we find here are rats, mice, rabbits, fox, wolf, tiger, lion, wild ass, horses and camels. Now montane forests, these are just remember the name mountain. So let us see first that which region we are talking about, then we'll go to the detail of this montane forest. Okay, this is the region we are talking about. So these are the montane forests, and these mountain forests are in the mountains. So this you can say sparkling green here, here, here. These are the region. More because these hills, or you can say the mountains, are quite high. So we don't get it here. There are mountains here, Aravali, Vindhya, and all these mountains are there, but they are not as high as what we find here. So what are the peculiarities here? See, montane forests, they have a succession of natural vegetation belts in the same order as we see from tropical to tundra. So what is this succession? Succession means depending upon the height, I am just going up, moving up the altitude. So this is what succession means. So if you see here, these are the mountain forest. So we get different type of vegetation here. When we go up, means go up the altitude, we get different one and then different one like this. So when we move up, the vegetation changes. If you see from 1000 to 2000 meters, in this region or in this height region, wet temperate type of forest which contains evergreen broad leaf trees like the oaks and chestnut, these are predominant. When we go up, that is 1500 to 3000, what do we get? Now we have increased the height, we have gone up. In this temperate forest, we have coniferous trees like pine, deodar, silver fir, spruce and kedar or cedar sometimes we say. We go to higher elevation, we get, because in the mountain also we find the plain region. So these are called grasslands. And if we move further, that is 3600 plus, if you move further up above mean sea level, alpine trees which have silver fir, like the names can be junipers, pines, birches, these are found. And if you go to snow line, because there is a lot of snow, so the trees, most of the trees cannot grow because always they are snow covered. So there we find shrubs and scrubs, and they merge into the alpine grasslands, which are used extremely useful for the Gujars and Bakrawals type of nomadic tribes. They use it for grazing their cattle. And at the higher altitudes, as I just said, that mosses and lichens, these are part of tundra vegetation. And what are the common animals here? Kashmir stag, Kashmiri mahamrig, spotted deer, wild sheep, jackrabbit, Tibetan antelope, yak, snow leopard, squirrels, shaggy horn, wild ibex, bear and rare red panda, sheep and goats, and they are with thick hair. The sheep and goat or the animals we find in the plain region, right, not very cold region, they will have less hair. But even if you go up and you see dogs, they have a lot of thick hair. So this is just because to cover them from the extreme, you can say winter conditions. Now mangrove forest. What is this mangrove forest? As the name suggests, this forest is based on mangrove. So what is this mangrove? These are the name of the trees, and that is why when we have number of trees like this, we have mangrove forest. So if you see this tree, the roots of this tree, they are inside water. So we have soil here which is brought by the tides, and we have the wraith or balu or sand here. So both of the things combined, these trees, they grow here, and if there are lot many trees, then we call them as mangrove forest. So generally we find them in the coastal area, sea coastal area. So this is the region, this is the mangrove forest region, this is the mangrove. These are the prominent, we find mangrove everywhere, you know, whenever we have a coastal region, but we need to have a forest, that is a variety of, you can say, vegetation at a place. So these are the mainly 3 regions or multiple regions where mangrove forests are there. So these forests are found in the area of coast, as I just suggested, influenced by the tides, where what is going to come? Mud and silt. Mud and silt on this, because you know, for tree, it cannot grow entirely in the water. It needs some sort of mud and silt to grow up. And dense mangroves, these are the common varieties with roots of the plant submerged underwater. If you see, these roots are submerged underwater, and these are the deltas of Ganga, Mahanadi, Krishna, Godavari, Kaveri you find. So here, this is Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. So they have delta here. So most of the trees are, or these mangrove forests are found here. If you go to a very important part, which is Ganga Brahmaputra delta, there are Sundari trees. Sundari, that is why it is called as Sundarban. Sundari trees are found, which provide durable hard timber. So palm, coconut, keora, agar, they grow in some part of these delta region. And you find Royal Bengal tiger here, this place. Royal Bengal tiger, and this is the famous animal. Also, along with you get turtles, crocodiles, ghadials and snakes. These are found in these forests. And these ghadials, these are the only, you can say, species of crocodiles that you find in India. You will not find it any other place. So let me just quickly go through all the vegetation we have. See, these are the different vegetation on different altitude, different temperature, different climate, and you know, different environmental condition. Different trees are being seen, and India is having a very rich variety of different type of vegetation, as we have already discussed. And these are the tropical evergreen. These are the type of vegetation. So tropical evergreen forest. Let me again go through it. So this is the region. These are the region, dark green. These region, this region, this region. So these are the tropical evergreen forests. Like the rainfall is more than 200 centimeter plus. Then we have tropical deciduous forest, mostly you can say the monsoon forest, and they shed their leaf 6 to 8 weeks in dry summer. Then we have montane forest, these forests. These are the montane forest, where the height or you can say forest change with the height, depending upon whether it is 100 to 200 or about 3600 meter. Then we have mangrove forests, and these mangrove forests are generally because of the tides and the sand and silt, and these trees mostly the roots are inside the water, and these are the main places mostly find in the coastal area. Then tropical thorn forest, these are the area which are scarce in water. They have scarcity of monsoon also. So these are the places where you will find tropical thorn forest. The trees or the thorns or the scrubs will be at a distance. Their roots will be quite inside. They are just always searching for water or moisture. And the tree leaves are very small and very thick, in order to just avoid the evaporation that the sun will cause them. Next thing comes is wildlife. Now wildlife is very important because, you know, there is a proper ecosystem, and that ecosystem has flora and fauna. So flora are plants and all those species like trees, etc. And then we have wildlife, that is the animal part. So India has about 2000 species of birds, which constitute 13% of world total. And there are 2546 type of fish, which accounts for nearly 12% of the world stock, 12%. And we also have 5 and 8% of amphibians, reptiles and mammals. So elephants are found in the hot, wet forest of Assam, and we have Karnataka and Kerala. Then one-horned rhinoceros, they live in swampy and marshy land. of Assam area, and then West Bengal here. Then Rann of Kutch, this area is habitat of wild ass and camels. These are found in Thar desert. Then Indian bison, Nilgai, that is blue bull, and Chausinga, four-horned antelope, gazelle. There are different species of deer also are found in various parts of India. Now, India is the only country where you get tigers plus lions together. And the Gir forest is the natural habitat of lion, while the tigers are found in the forest of Madhya Pradesh. And the Sundarbans of West Bengal and Himalaya region, we find them. These we already talked about Royal Bengal tiger. The Himalayas harbor a hardy range of animals. This region, the survival is quite extreme because of the extreme cold. So Ladakh here, this region, freezing high altitudes, these are home to yak. And yak are shaggy horned wild ox. And they may weigh up to 1 ton, that is 100 kgs, 100 kilos. The Tibetan antelope, the bharal, that is blue sheep, wild sheep, and kiang, Tibetan wild ass, the ibex, bear, snow leopard, and very rare sometimes we find red panda also in these certain parts. In the rivers, lakes and coastal areas, we find these regions, this region and these regions. We find turtle, crocodiles and gharials also. Birds, when we talk about birds, we have peacocks, pheasants, ducks, parakeets, cranes, pigeons, and these are also found in various forests and wetlands of the country. So Wildlife Protection Act was implemented in 1972. Why? Because we are not so much doing for the wildlife protection. So there has to be an act, and this came into being in 1972. And as I said, the Gir forest is the last remaining habitat of Asiatic lion. You can understand, if the lions are not there, the food chain will not complete and there will be unbalanced ecosystem, and you know what will be the outcome of that. And there are certain medicinal plants. So there are around 2000 plants which are described in Ayurveda, and 500 we use regularly. So the World Conservation Union Red List, it has named 352 medicinal plants and 52 which are critically threatened, and 49 are already endangered. So what plants we generally use, just to give you an idea, that Sarpagandha for blood pressure, Jamun for it has very good digestive property and controlling diabetes, Arjun, and this fresh juice of leaves, it can cure the earache, कान की दिक्कतें इसको ठीक करता है. It is also used to regulate the blood pressure. Babool for eye sores like styes, and the gum is used as a tonic. And neem is a good antibiotic and having antibacterial properties. Tulsi plant for cough and cold, and kachanar for asthma, ulcers, and of course the digestive problems. So these are the, I'm just saying that these plants are so important for us, for our existence also. They have all the medicinal values, but still we are eager to cut them. So these are the places of the wildlife. These are the normal wildlife found in India. Major things which public know and we go to see them. These are the elephant and Indian great mongoose. We have all Indian montanic rivers, this deer, then peacock, tortoise, gharials, lion, tiger, leopard, everything we have, every variety we have. So let me just take you to the wildlife sanctuary. This all red ones, these are wildlife sanctuaries, and these stars are bird sanctuaries. And then we have this blue triangle, these are national parks. So these are national parks. So government is doing a lot to, to save the ecosystem, save the flora and fauna. That is why we have wildlife, bird and sanctuary, and also national park. So as I just said, we need to conserve the flora and fauna, and this is not for anyone else. It is for us, for our existence, for our kids who are going to be, for next 50 years. The excessive exploitation or misuse of the plants and animals resources by us, that is human beings, it has disturbed the ecosystem. About 1300 plant species, they are endangered. 20 species are already extinct. and some animals, they are already endangered or at the verge of being extinct. So what are the cause of these threats? Why it is happening? Because of a greediness, hunting of greedy greedy hunters, and for commercial purposes, and pollution. Of course, the pollution due to chemical and industrial waste and the acid deposits. Nobody is caring for that. You know, when you produce something, there are certain consumers. So when you produce pollution, they are consumers, that is human beings. And introduction of some alien species, when something comes which are not that genetically strong, then this can happen. And we are cutting forest recklessly, ruthlessly cutting forest. Why? Because we need to feed the population. Cultivation has to be done. And we are destroying the actual habitation of the wildlife and also cutting the trees. So government have taken step. It is not that everyone has a blind eye. So they are protecting flora and fauna. 14 biosphere reserves have been set up in the country in order to protect the flora and fauna. And financial and technical assistance means the government is providing financial money also, and technical assistance is also provided to many botanical gardens by the government since 1992, because it has been experienced long back that this is a serious issue. Project Tiger, Project Rhino, Project Great Indian, the Bustard, and many other eco-development projects have been introduced. And 89 national parks, 490 wildlife sanctuaries and zoological gardens, they are being set up to take care of the national heritage, which is everyone's duty. And the Sundarbans in the Western Bengal, Nanda Devi in Uttarakhand, Gulf of Mannar in Tamil Nadu, and the Nilgiris in southern India part, Kerala, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu, this have been included in the World Network of Biosphere Reserves. So these are in the world, see, at world level, they are in the network of biosphere reserves. So these are the list of 14 bioreserves in India. So we have Sundarbans, Simli-Pal, Gulf of Mannar, and then we have Dihang Dibang, Nilgiris in South India, Dibru Saikova here, then we have Nanda Devi here, then we have Agastyamalai, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, then we have Nokrek here, then we have Kanchenjunga, this Kanchenjunga, and then we have Great Nicobar, this place, then we have Pachmadi here, then we have Manas in Assam, this is Manas, you can see also, then we have, this is Simli-Pal, this is Tashigam, this is Achnakmar, Amarkantak. So all these things are very important for us to understand that there are certain birds which are coming from a distance, because they find a good place in India, as the climate also suits them for certain time, and they lay their egg, they do the reproduction, and they find it better here, and they also are part of the natural ecosystems or biodiversity we have. So what do we know by this chapter? There are certain things which are given in the blocks, that is the virgin vegetation. What is the virgin vegetation? These are purely Indian, known as endemic or indigenous species, native, desi, deshaj. But those who have come from outside India, they are known as exotic plants. And according to the Indian State of Forest Report 2011, the forest cover in India is 21.05% only, and this is really alarming. Wildlife Protection Act, we have already seen, was implemented in 1972 in India, and the Gir forest is the last remaining habitat of the Asiatic lion. So this is all about this topic. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.